Hello you sexy beasts and welcome to the arena. In this series we plot the aircraft you choose against one another for a set of challenges to find out which one's the best. In this episode we're comparing the famous Bf-109 G-2 Trop and the Spitfire F Mk. The Bf-109 is a single-seat monoplane fighter which was the backbone of the German Air Force, before and during World War II. It was designed by Wilhelm Emil Messerschmitt in the year 1934 and was continuously improved until 1945. The German Luftwaffe used it in such roles as fighter, interceptor, high-altitude interceptor, fighter bomber and reconnaissance aircraft. It is also one of the most produced fighter aircraft, with around 34,000 built from 1936 to April 1945. The Bf-109G Gustav series frame was the most mass-produced variant of the 109, powered by the Daimler-Benz DB605A. The 605 was basically a DB601 with the cylinder block redesigned to increase displacement from 33.9 to 35.7 liters, which resulted in a 175 extra horsepower with no significant change in size. However, the increased equipment led to heavier weight on the Gustav, in fact 10% heavier than the Friedrich. Compared to the much earlier Bf-109B, the Gustav was almost 46% heavier. The new aircraft had begun to reach frontline units by May 1944. In essence, the Bf-109 design had reached its peak. Ideally, it needed to be replaced with newer, more modern interceptor designs. However, the troubled Me-209 replacement was still in development and things at the front were beginning to look ominous for Germany. Consequently, the Reichsluftfahrtministerium decided to continue to further refine the 109. This would entail the most common Me-109 variants, the 109G6 and the 109G14. The production of the 109G2 started in spring 1945 and was the first Bf-109 to arrive combat units with the new DB605A engine. The suffix Trop means that this 109 has a special filter mounted to prevent damaging the engine from sand and other particles, which allowed combat use in tropical areas like deserts. The German Luftwaffe used this version in Africa. In the early months of 1942, with the clear superiority of the Fokker 190 over the Spitfire Mark 5B, there was much pressure to get Spitfires into production using the new two-stage supercharged Merlin 61 engine. In September 1941, the Spitfire Mark III prototype N3297 had been converted by Rolls-Royce at their Hucknall plant to take the Merlin 60, which had been specifically designed for use in the Wellington Mark VI high-altitude bomber. The performance increase was described by Jeffrey Quill as a quantum leap over that of the Mark 5B, and as such, another Spitfire airframe, the R6700, was modified to take the new engine. Although design work on the Mark 7 and the Mark 8 series was underway, these would take over a year to get into production, and a counter to the Fokker 190 was urgently needed. The Air Ministry made the decision that Mark 5C airframes should be converted to take the more powerful engine. And as a result, many of the early Mark 9s were converted Mark 5Cs, which did not have any of the refinements which later appeared. These could be identified by the Type C wing, with the larger double blisters over the inner cannon base and the identification light on the fuselage spine, behind the aerial mast. The elevator horns were also smaller in size than that of most Mark 9s, which had larger horn balances. The first Mark 9 was a modified 5C AB505, which was tested by the Air Fighting Development Unit in April 1942. The report said, the performance of the Spitfire Mark 9 is outstandingly better than the Spitfire 5, especially at heights above 20,000 feet. On the level, the Spitfire is considerably faster and climb is exceptionally good. It will climb easily to 38,000 feet and when leveled off there, can be made to climb in stages to above 40,000 feet by building up speed on level and a slight zoom. Its maneuverability is as good as the Spitfire Mark 5 up to 30,000 feet, and above is very much better. At 38,000 feet it is capable of a true speed of 368 miles per hour, and it's still able to maneuver well for fighting. Although the Mark 9's airframe did not have the aerodynamic and strength improvements, or the modified control surfaces of the Mark 7 and the Mark 8, the Mark 9 still proved to be an effective counter to the Fokker 190. In-game, both aircraft are pretty comparable battle rating wise. At 4.3, the Bf-109G2 comes standard with a single 20mm MG151 cannon firing through the propeller hub and two 7.92mm MG17 machine guns synchronized with the propeller, mounted to the nose just above the engine. The combined burst mass of these guns is 1.77 kg per second. the aircraft does have the option to mount an additional 2 20mm cannons in underwing gun pods, at the expense of added weight and drag. The inverted V DB605A 12-cylinder engine has a max power output of 1280 horsepower, with the ability to boost it up to 1422 horsepower with war emergency power. Indicated takeoff weight is 3274 kg. Although, due to the small wing area, the wing loading is rather high at 159 kg per square meter. The Spitfire F Mk sits at a battle rating of 4.0 and features 2 wing-mounted 20mm Hispano Mark II cannons, as well as 4 wing-mounted 7.7mm Browning machine guns. The combined burst mass of these guns is 3.25 kg per second, almost double that of the Bf-109. The V12 Merlin 61 engine has an indicated max power output of 1270 horsepower, 10 less than the 109. However, with war emergency power, this figure rises to 1473 horsepower, around 50 more than the 109 on web. The Spitfire is substantially heavier than the 109, weighing 3800 kg on takeoff. Despite that, and thanks to the much larger wing area, the wing loading of the Mach 9 is substantially lower than the G2, which results in much better turning. But those are the stats that the game tells us. We're not just content with that. So I did some stat testing and here are the results. First of all, effective power output. As expected, the previous numbers are rather misleading. Despite the indicated difference being only 50 horsepower with web enabled, the real difference is much larger. Across all altitudes, the Spitfire has between 4.6 to 11.2% higher effective output than the Bf-109 does, resulting in a 7.5% average difference. One thing to note is how drastically the Spitfire's output drops after 3,500 meters. This is something to keep in mind for the conclusion. Despite the power difference, the Bf-109 is the lighter aircraft, and as such it does have the slight edge in climb rate, at least at low altitudes. This advantage does disappear at around 3,000 meters, however, where the Spitfire reaches peak engine output. That said, on the climb to 4,000 meters, the Bf-109 did have about a 1.1% better climb than the Spitfire. So far it's been looking pretty grim for the 109, but there's one more test to do, which just so happens to be one of the most important aspects of any aircraft: acceleration. Gustav pilots will be glad to hear that despite having less power, the lower weight of the 109 does give it a substantial edge in acceleration and at all speeds over the Spitfire. This difference only gets more pronounced at higher speeds. It seems like the Spitfire does suffer from higher drag than the Bf-109. On average, the Bf-109 G2 has a 7.2% better acceleration than the Spitfire does. In terms of top speed, both aircraft are within 10 km per hour. 485 km per hour indicated airspeed for the Spitfire at 4 km altitude, 495 km per hour for the Bf-109. But stats are for nerds. How do these aircraft actually stack up against one another in real combat? To find that out, I've invited the winner of my call-up contest to help me put these two beauties to the test in a series of challenges. If you want to check Telsion out and leave him some kind words, his channel is linked in the description. Alright, let's move on to live commentary. So, here's the thing. We are going to do a couple of challenges to find out which aircraft really is the best. Now, I cannot simply do just one single challenge. We are going to try out who's the best dogfighter at low and high altitude. For that, we're going to do duels over Rise Terraces, which is what I do in my streams, and in the Guardian Angels mission, which is at like 5 to 6 kilometers altitude. So we have a good altitude difference there. We're also going to do a race on the tropical island. And finally, we're going to do a gun test on the funny shooting range, where we're going to try and see how many balloons we can shoot down. And the winner is going to be whoever shoots it the most. By the way, I am joined here by Mr. Telsion. Telsion, say hello.
Hello.
What Telsion was trying to say is that he's the winner of my, I think it was a 5,000 subscriber, what's it called, competition, which was like half a year ago. Or longer.
At least 7 months.
And yeah, we finally managed to do a video, so that's great. He has a YouTube channel. If you want to check him out, I'll leave a link in the description down below. How many subscribers do you have at the moment, Telsion?
Well, if you talk about anticlimactic, let me quickly check. 301.
So now the thing is, I know the ideal climb speeds for this thing, but I don't know if that's going to help me in any way. I also know the ideal climb speed of your thing, but you don't know them, so that's great, I guess. Question is, can I climb up in time before you start hosing me down with your 220s? Here's the thing, the Spitfire has two 20mm Hispano cannons mounted in the wings. I have a single 20mm mounted in the nose.
Yeah.
Technically my 20s are more accurate. Or well, my single 20 is more accurate, but also has much less firepower.
I have to add to that for some time I have not.
There we go, Telsion's pulling in from below. Question is, do I have a higher climber? Because here's the thing. By the time in this video, I've probably already done the entire stat research and shown it before this video. I haven't done the stat research yet, so neither of us actually knows how the stats of these aircraft compare. It seems like Telsion is actually coming up close. He does have a slightly faster climber, it seems.
That's actually probably correct. And I have an amazing cockpit, so that's another thing. It will probably help in me winning this battle.
Actually, I think I'm pulling away from you. Yes, I am. I am pulling away from you, so it seems like the B4 does have a slight edge in climb speed, as long as you are on the ideal climb speed.
Mike?
Yeah?
One thing. Wasn't this supposed to be the low altitude part?
Technically, yes. Because I simply cannot dogfight you. I mean, if you turn away, surely I can come around and start engaging you. But this time.
Do you think I am French? Do you think I'm French?
No. What are you? You're Danish, aren't you? Or
you better here very quickly retract that. Very quickly.
Fine, you're Chinese.
No, I am not. I am Dutch.
Oh, you're Dutch. Well, that explains all the smoke.
What?
Okay, maybe just a little bit too young to understand the reference. Alright, now. Oh god, this might be a bad thing, Ooh, yeah, Spitfire definitely has better energy retention than vertical. Oh god. We lost way too much there. Come on. Here's the thing, the Spitfire is a lighter vehicle. It doesn't have as much engine power, but you are lighter than me. I took some quite heavy damage there.
It was very. You may have lost something.
Just some flaps. Nobody needs flaps. Nobody needs flaps. Oh god. Yeah. Now I'm fucked. Here's the thing. You cannot dogfight the Spitfire. That's the only problem. But the Spitfire has a little thing called a floating carburetor.
Yeah, I have known about that for a while.
Okay, good.
There is a
well,
reason
actually not good
why
for me because since you know what the problem is, there's not really much I can do against it. But hold on, maybe I can do one thing.
Do you really think I'm going to fall for the old energy trap thing?
No, the problem is my aircraft is completely shot to shit right now. Thank you for putting holes in my left wing.
Only your left wing? I would seem to think I also put some in your tail, but...
Well, it's mostly the left wing. Also, I'm losing water, also I'm smoking all over the place, yeah. In a one-on-one dogfight, the Spitfire pretty much always wins, unless you have the entire map to run away from. As much as I can do right now. Unless I somehow manage to make a fancy maneuver and make him crash into a mountain somehow. I think this is it.
I did it to you, so...
oh god! I don't think there's even a point in doing another round. Let's just go to the high altitude one. Alright, now we are going to go for the high altitude duel tests. The first one was, as we saw, was not really great for the B409. The Spitfire simply has the better acceleration, apparently better vertical energy retention, or at least I lost way too much in the turns. And, well, it simply can't turn much better than the B409 does. That being said, we are now at high altitude on Guardian Angel, although I'm not sure if you're going to spawn at a slightly higher altitude. I'm spawning at 4.9. And you?
4.9, I was at 4.5. Mike, actually one thing.
So
do realize that we are on a timer here, namely a fuck-ton load of bombers.
Yes. Which also, for some reason, are on my team. B49 is now covering the B-17s whilst the Spitfire is trying to defend his home base in Germany. Historical accuracy, ladies and gentlemen. I think I might just have enough altitude over you.
You don't have much. You do not have much at all. So
not much, but it's enough at least to not be shreked in the first pass, which is good enough for me. Also, since the air up here is substantially colder than at low altitude, my engine is not overheating. Which is great.
That is true as well, yeah.
So I can actually use my whip. The question is, can I build up enough of a separation to make it back to...
You will, if you take it also into the vertical and then just stall yourself out and then fall back. You could do that.
I don't know if I want to do that though. Here's the thing. Since the Spitfire is much lighter, it retains its... well, it's pretty much better at exact vertical maneuvers. I have the engine retention, I believe, but for that I need to have energy build up first. And it seems to me that you're actually catching up to me, which is not...
Yep, I'm catching up.
Good. Here's the thing, the Spitfire is also a high altitude fighter. It's not like as if I was fighting a Yak. At this point a Yak would just lose engine power. Spitfire not necessarily.
That's true. I once managed to get the LA7 B20 up to almost 10 kilometers, and then I just fell out of the sky, literally.
Yeah, low altitude engines don't fare well at high altitudes. And the thing is, this thing is so bad at turning, it doesn't even want to turn at all. Yeah, but no issue for the Spitfire turning in there. No issues whatsoever. And now the problem is the Spitfire retains its energy much better over in turns. So I lost a lot of energy there, and I'm now right in the firing range of that Spitfire.
You lost about I lost about 800, 1700 meters, but for me it isn't that important, and for you it is.
Yeah. That's really the main problem I have with energy fighters in Warframe in general. Stuff like especially the higher tiers, like at this low tier at least the Bifrost still has enough engine power to really separate itself from most of the opposition. Yeah. But in higher tiers where you are flying your K4s and your D13s, where everything else has at least as much engine power, if not more, you kind of start to get fucked because you can't really do much. Either you spend the entire game climbing.
There we go.
Either you spend the entire game climbing, or you're just fucked because you can't really get enough separation in. Like right now, what am I supposed to do here? I cannot dogfight that Spitfire. He has two cannons. Yep, I just blow up and and that's really the problem with energy fighters. It limits your possibilities so much that makes it very tough to actually get good scores and get good battles out of them. Spitfire just has so many more advantages than the B4 does in terms of dogfighting, one-on-one.
Yeah, true.
Alright, let's go back to anger and let's try something else now. So, here's the thing. Both at low altitude and high altitude we figured out that Spitfire is just the better dogfighter. One-on-one, the Spitfire just wins. You need the entire map, you need lots of time to even get enough energy separation to use the B49. And even then, once you do one turn, you're out of energy and the Spitfire catches up to you. So, in dogfighting, the Spitfire already has taken 2 points. Which means if it wins even one more event, it wins.
I have to say one thing. The thing you can truly beat a Spitfire is to go with 2 versus 1.
Exactly.
109s versus 1. I've had it multiple times. You are mostly chanceless.
So, now, since we discovered that the Spitfire will win in dogfights, how about we figure out 2 things? We need to figure out how the overall actually performance of the aircraft is, which means energy retention and how fast and maneuverable it is overall, without being in a dogfight situation, and how well the guns actually work. So let's try the guns first and leave the race for last. So for this I have an experimental little thing. We're going to do funny shooting range Mountain Gorge. This map is full of blimps, and our objective is going to be, in as little time as possible, I'm going to give ourselves 10 minutes. We're going to see who can shoot down the most blimps. Now keep in mind 2 things, actually multiple things. You're not allowed to shoot the enemy, okay, so only shoot the blimps. You have to fire until the blimp dies, because this is the thing, you can simply hit them with 1 bullet and they, after a time, just burn to death. So, just fire until they die. And, well, we have limited ammo, so ammo count is also going to go into account here. 5 kills so far, doing a little bit better on the ammo management, that's for sure.
Yeah. But then again, speaking about being a grammar Nazi, you wouldn't believe how many. What the fuck is up? I have 6 kills and out of cannon ammo already.
Are you ready out of cannon ammo?
Yes.
I have 4 cannon rounds left. Actually, no, I still have 4 in the auxiliary, 78 in the main cannon. So actually, this time I still have plenty left.
And I have no possible.
Okay, I'm out of main armament. Actually, no, secondaries. Still have the main cannon. Still about the same killing time. Just now I have to pay attention not crash into any balloons.
Well, Mike, I hit a balloon, but I didn't crash into it.
British bias.
I know, this is just very simple.
Oh god, oh god, oh god.
That was the cable.
Oh shit! Oh my god! Oh my god! I just had a Fast and Furious moment.
What?
I ran out of cannon ammo. I was too close to that balloon. It wouldn't go down with the empty ammo. I was 5 meters away from it when it finally decided to explode. That was scary. That was scary. That was very scary.
I am now onto my second plane with all, and that is 9 rounds.
How many did you get on the first life?
9.
9? Okay. And I'm out of MG ammo. Alright. So with all the ammo expended, I got 14 kills.
Basically.
Alright, so at least with the gun pod, ZB49 can take out more targets. That's good to know.
Yeah, but I wouldn't count on it as a big plus, since the performance is still a bit of a big thing.
Yeah, true. Although, this is why we're going to do the last testing now, and the last challenge for today. If you would kindly go back to hangar. The last challenge is going to be a race. A long race, since there isn't any short race option anymore. Thank you, Gaijin. This race is over 121 checkpoints on the tropical island map. It's probably going to take about 20 to 30 minutes, if I'm not mistaken. The race is pretty long.
How long?
20 to 30 minutes. Yes, it's a long race. It's a long fucking race. And this is going to be the final, pretty much, test of performance. The Spitfire is more maneuverable and has better acceleration. But the B49 should have a higher top speed. And this map has a mixture of both. It needs good roll rate, it needs good maneuverability, and it needs good top speed. There are some very long straights in there. And energy retention in general. So this is going to be a really interesting test. Alright, this is going to be a long ass race. Let's see who finishes first. This is actually really all open. As I said, the Spitfire is more maneuverable, but we have the high top speed. Although, given the overall sluggishness of this aircraft, we might just crash into many, many mountain rocks.
Exactly. Which would be, as you said, perfectly appropriate with your name and not with mine.
At least. Okay, so first couple of checkpoints done. We are on the straights. We are pulling away. So the B49 is definitely showing its strength in the long straightaways. We are now 3 seconds ahead of Telsion. Now the thing is, Telsion, do you have any experience with racing whatsoever?
In custom battles, yes, but not much.
Right, because this is the thing, I'm going to be honest, I race a lot. I love racing, so I have the slight advantage in terms of pilot's know-how, let's say. At the same time though, I do have the worst aircraft. Yep, and I just missed a checkpoint.
Oh, come on. Uh-oh. This is not good. I missed one too,
So
and
did you.
Well, to be fairly honest, I think I am... Well, I am quite okay here. I do, however, have a bit of issues with my tail, but since I only bounced against the rock, that doesn't really matter.
And I'm missing another one. Yeah, these tight turns is where the B49 really has problems. And the Spitfire pulls away. And the Spitfire pulls away.
No! You fucking piece of fucking good job. That's only a 3. doesn't matter. It only that is the rock. That's the rock. That's the rock. That's also another.
Do you have a tail damage or something?
No. Yeah. Okay. I might have a bit of tail damage. Not much.
I mean, if you have damage, it's probably better to just respawn in a fresh new aircraft.
Well, to be fairly honest, I was putting away from it. It doesn't matter at this point. I mean, I only damaged my tail slightly by it slightly touching the rock hill next to me, so it doesn't really matter.
Just very slightly.
True.
But yeah,
Then
the interesting
again,
thing is, it really shows how much better the engine performance of the UV49 is here in these areas. I'm pulling away from the Spitfire very easily.
Yeah. And the tail damage doesn't really, I mean, shouldn't really decrease engine performance. It would be strange if it would.
Not engine performance, but if you can't take the turns and you're fucked out of the way. Because that's the thing. I am going to win when it comes to pure engine performance. The only thing you have is tight turnability, which I don't have.
Yeah.
Every now and then I have to miss a checkpoint.
And still I managed to get... I told you. Bitch. And I still managed to get through the... through that... fucking part with the maneuvering with relative ease. Relative ease.
Oh god, oh god, oh god, look at the meme map. Tight turn ahead, very tight turn ahead.
Thank you for the alarm.
Come on, turn, and this is where the B49 really suffers. I just cannot turn in time, even with landing flaps. The turn is just too...
Uh-oh! No!
too bad.
No!
Well, the Spitfire couldn't either. Oh no, fuck, I broke my flaps. Not good, not good. Next time attack...
That's it!
Did you seriously just crash? Telsion, I'm sorry mate, but you are quite possibly the worst Spitfire pilot I've ever seen. You're supposed to be winning in these tight turns, not crashing.
But not... Oh, great spawn. But not when there is a fucking rock right inside my flight path. I cannot pull up...
Oh shit! Oh fuck! I missed the turn. Okay, I retract any statements towards Telsion Spitfire flying skills. That was dishonorable. One thing I'm not really liking about this B49 is the roll rate. It's a bit sluggish, really.
You have to be kidding me.
Did you crash again?
You just bounced me into the fucking...
And I finished. That was anticlimactic. I didn't even notice I was about to finish there. Well,
You finished.
I finished. 8 minutes and 6 seconds on 3 deaths. So I've won.
Fucking.
I've won in time. I've won in crashes. I've won in everything. So yeah, what can we conclude? Well, B49 versus Spitfire. I don't have the stat testing done yet. I'm going to do it afterwards. So you've already seen this stat testing beforehand. What we discovered, at least from the manual testing, is 1-on-1, the Spitfire just wins every time. At low altitude, high altitude, if you're at the same energy level, the Spitfire just wins. There's nothing really you can do in the B49 except just run from one point of the map to the other, get enough separation, then try to force a head-on. But even then, the Spitfire has the advantage in having 2 cannons, contrary to you only having 1 cannon if you don't take the gun pods. In terms of gun performance, if you do have the gun pods, you do have more firepower and you can take out more targets more quickly. Although you do have the performance issue that comes with the gun pods. If you don't know about the performance issue, I'm actually going to link a video in the info card in the description down below where I did stat testing and how much gun pods actually affect your aircraft's performance. And if I'm not mistaken, I actually used this exact aircraft, so the stats are there. And finally in the race, we discovered that the B49 is overall a better racer. It maintains its energy slightly better, and it has a fast acceleration, at higher speed at least, and a faster top speed. The Spitfire does have the advantage in tight turns, but as we saw, even in the tightest of turns, the Spitfire is not quite capable to make those. So finally, which is better, the Spitfire or the B49? I would say in general purpose and just for ease of flight, I would take the Spitfire all day, every day, because it's just better at one-on-one engagements. But if you do know how to energy fight, if you do have a team supporting you, then the B49 is a better aircraft simply because of the energy retention, the top speed, and what you can just generally do with it. It's not quite as slow, it's not quite as sluggish, it just doesn't really perform well in one-on-one dogfights. Do you have anything to add, Telsion?
Yeah, one thing, if you're in an air RB match and you find yourself against a Spitfire, run towards teammates.
Exactly. Alright then, this is it. Guys, do check out Telsion. Thank you very much, by the way, for joining me in this testing. This has been the first episode of Versus. I'm actually not quite sure of the name yet. I'm probably going to make it up as I go. But this has been the first episode. If you want to check out Telsion, his YouTube link will be in the description down below. And I'm pretty sure he's also going to be commenting on this video. So just click on his icon, give him some nice words, maybe subscribe, help him get, let's say help him get at least 400 subscribers. The guy's pretty decent, even though he's Dutch. If you can get over the fact that he's a Dutch grammar Nazi, then subscribe to him. And yeah, that's it for today, guys. Suggest some more vehicle pairings that you want to see in the comment section down below. We have done Spitfire vs B49, maybe you want to see other models, maybe you want to see something else, for example, Tempests versus Focke-Wulfs, maybe P51s versus late B49s, whatever comes to mind, suggest in the comment section down below. I'm going to choose one and do the next episode. And that's it for today, guys. If you're new around here, don't forget to subscribe. As always, if you like this video, like it, and I'll see you in the next video. My name is MikeGoesBoom, his name has been Telsion, and thank you for watching.
Goodbye.
You can lift your head up to the sky, take a deeper breath and give it time. You can walk the path among the lines, with your shattered frame of mind. Or instead you could always stay, we can wait right here and play, until somehow you can find